It is now my distinctive pleasure to call on Dr. McMahon to deliver the commencement address. Dr. McMahon.
I wondered why Tony Cisnero asked me to be here today. No doubt it's a great honor of mine. It dawned on me that Tony is not a great risk taker, so given the possibility of my remarks, that could not be the reason. And then I thought, I know what it is. Tony Cisnero is desperate. Because the important person that he really wanted to be up here, well, just didn't show up at the last moment. Or could it be that Tony Cisnero is finally just off his rocker? I have no pearls of wisdom for you today. I'm not going to tell you how to run your lives because I have great difficulty running mine. Nonetheless, I can share with you an abbreviated form of some of my personal experiences. I was born in 1945. What? I know what you're saying. 1945. Oh my God, he's an old fart. I don't consider myself an old fart. I have occasion had a bout of flatulence. I grew up in a relatively poor and volatile environment. Grew up in what was known then as a trailer park in an 8-foot wide, 50-foot trailer. Notwithstanding my housing and the environment in general, it was no excuse for me becoming what was then known as a certifiable juvenile delinquent. So much so that the local authorities suggested I attend a state-supported institution. They gave me a choice. I could either do that or I could go to military school. I've always had a problem with authority figures and still do to this day. Nonetheless, my dad funded my opportunity to go to military school, and I graduated. I was very proud of that. But not before I was the first cadet in the history of the school to be court-martialed. My dad insisted I go to college, and I said, Pop, I'm just not college material. I proved it. It took me 3 occasions taking the SATs to finally reach a combined score of just slightly over 800. But nonetheless, I applied to one college, and the reason I applied to the one because it was the closest to my then girlfriend. And that college was East Carolina University. And they too suggested I was not exactly college material. The only way I could get into East Carolina was go to summer school and pass 2 courses, then they would let me in. That's what I did. I went to summer school and barely passed 2 courses, and then I was a certifiable freshman. I had great difficulty learning in college, so much so that after 2 years I had to come up with something. I had to like reach in and grab something that was going to help me through school. And then I said, I know what I'll do. I'll get married. Perhaps not exactly the smartest thing in the world, but actually it turned out that it was. Oh. So there I was, married and in college. And it took me 5 years to get through a 4-year curriculum. And there I was, marrying the lady you see here on the stage, the poor woman who's been living with me for over 40 years, my wife, Linda. Stand up, Linda. Fine-looking woman, fine-looking woman. I liked summer school so much that I went to every summer school. You see, what would happen is I would flunk out every year and have to go to summer school just to get back in. Nonetheless, I again somehow graduated. I'll never forget the look on Linda's parents' face when In their faces when I suggested that graduation is great, but I've got to have something to top that. So I announced to them on graduation day that my wife Linda was pregnant. Way to go, Vince. You're off to the races. So then I began a succession of dead-end jobs, so to speak, and then I probably found my true calling, manual labor. I worked 90 hours a week in a rock quarry, Rockville crushed stone. And just weeks before Linda was to give birth to our son, Shane, I came home that night and I looked at Linda and I proudly said, guess what? I've quit my job. Something similar was to happen some 7 years later when Linda, just weeks before giving birth to our daughter, Stephanie, it was, well, just weeks before when I declared bankruptcy. Not exactly a shining moment in my life. Nonetheless, we trudge on. Sometime after that, using, and you business graduates will know what I mean by using mirrors, I used a number of mirrors and bought my dad's business, my dad and his other stockholders, called Capital Wrestling Corporation. And upon buying Capital Wrestling Corporation, a lot of luck, a lot of hard work, that became the global promotional juggernaut that we now know as World Wrestling Entertainment, the WWE, and along the way became a billionaire. Way to go, Vince. I see a lot of aspiring billionaires out there. Nonetheless, notwithstanding the success of WWE, I still have a number of failures, and one of them comes to mind in which I made quite a bit of an investment in something known as the World Bodybuilding Federation. That sounds real good, doesn't it? Yeah. But notwithstanding that, I said, well, that's not a very good investment as it turned out. So therefore, I need to make a larger investment, something that I know that's really going to work. The World Bodybuilding Federation, of course, defunct, and then I came up with the even more defunct XFL. So there have been a number of failures along the way in my life, and I have no pearls of wisdom, as I said before, but I can leave you perhaps with this thought, notwithstanding my failures. It's important in life that you're not afraid to fail. And if you're not afraid to fail, then you will be a success in life. Congratulations. Thank you very much.